welcome you on board Squid Flight ER301 bound for Singapore. Flight time to Singapore is approximately 3 hours and 10 minutes. Should you service to all passengers on board, please prepare the aircraft for departure. Thank you. Now the use of your life vest. Your life vest is under your seat. Clip the life vest over your seat.